My friends, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now because what I am about to share with you today could directly affect the money that lands in your bank account this month. And I mean this month, April. We are talking about a potential $2,400 surprise that thousands of American seniors are already reacting to. And whether you are on Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, you need to hear every single word of this video before you close it out. I know you have seen clickbait before. I know you have been disappointed. But today is different, and I am going to walk you through exactly what is happening, where this money is coming from, and most importantly, whether it is coming to you. You worked your whole life for this. You paid into the system for decades. You raised families, built communities, drove to jobs in the cold and the dark, and you deserve to know, right now, that the government is making moves that could change your monthly check. Some of those moves are good. Some of them have a catch. And I am going to be honest with you about both because that is what a real friend does. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's talk about what is really going on in April 2025 with your Social Security. What triggered this $2,400 number? And is it real? Let me address this head on, because I know you want the truth. The $2,400 figure being discussed across senior communities right now is not a single lump sum check landing in everyone's mailbox. I want to be clear about that from the start because I respect you too much to mislead you. What we are really talking about is a combination of factors that, when added together, are bringing some seniors to, or very close to, that $2,400 monthly benefit level for the first time in their lives. And a big part of why this is happening right now comes directly from policy shifts under the Trump administration, including a recently signed executive action and ongoing pressure on the Social Security Administration to recalibrate how certain benefits are structured. Here is what happened. The Trump administration has been pushing hard on what they call a senior financial security review, which sounds like Washington language, but in plain terms, it means the SSA has been directed to look at whether benefit calculations, especially for people who were underpaid in previous years, have been corrected. This matters because the Social Security Administration's own Office of the Inspector General has previously found that tens of thousands of seniors were receiving less than they were legally entitled to. Those errors, in some cases going back years, are now being flagged and in some cases corrected, resulting in retroactive payments that for some beneficiaries add up to several $100s on top of their regular monthly check. So when you hear $2,400, what you are really hearing is the story of seniors who between their 2025 COLA adjusted benefit, a retroactive correction, and in some cases a spousal or survivor benefit recalculation, are now seeing their total monthly income from SSA-related sources reach that threshold. It is real. It is happening. And here is how to find out if it applies to you. The 2025 COLA update, what it actually means for your check. Let's back up for just a moment and talk about the cost of living adjustment because this is the foundation of everything. Starting in January 2025, Social Security benefits received a 2.5% COLA increase. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, 2.5% doesn't sound like much, and you are right that it is smaller than the historic 8.7% increase we saw back in 2023. But do not dismiss it, because on top of years of cumulative increases, this 2.5% is actually adding real dollars to real checks. For the average retired worker, that COLA adjustment in 2025 brought the monthly benefit up to approximately $1,276. For someone receiving the maximum benefit, which requires having worked for 35 years at or above the wage base, that number climbs to around $4,173 per month. And for couples, for households where both spouses worked and both are receiving benefits, the combined monthly income can absolutely clear $4,000, $5,000 or more. So when we talk about $2,400, that number represents a very achievable and realistic monthly amount for a retired worker who claimed benefits correctly and who is now receiving their full 2025 adjusted payment. For those of you on SSI, Supplemental Security Income, the 2025 maximum federal benefit is $967 per month for an individual and $450 for a couple. That is up from last year thanks to that same COLA. And for SSDI beneficiaries, those of you receiving Social Security disability insurance, the average payment in 2025 is approximately $1,580 per month, with many recipients receiving more depending on their work history. The Trump administration's role, what changed and what hasn't now. Let's talk policy, because this is where the Trump move in our title actually comes into play, and I want to explain it clearly. President Trump and his administration have taken several actions that are reverberating through the Social Security system right now. One of the most significant is the pressure being applied to the Social Security Administration around its administrative backlog, specifically the enormous number of people who have been waiting years for their disability determinations to be resolved. Under the current SSA leadership, there has been a stated commitment to reducing the hearing backlog for SSDI claimants. And why does this matter to you? Because for every month that an SSDI claim sits unresolved, the beneficiary is not receiving their check. When a claim is finally approved, sometimes after 2, 3, or even 4 years of waiting, the SSA pays out retroactive benefits going back to the established onset date of the disability, or up to 12 months before the application date, whichever is less. For someone who has been waiting a long time, that retroactive payment can easily be several $1,000s. And we are seeing more of those payments go out right now in April, as the backlog begins to slowly clear. Additionally, the Trump administration has proposed and in some cases implemented changes to how benefits interact with employment income, specifically around the retirement earnings test. This is the rule that reduces your Social Security benefit if you are under full retirement age and still working. The administration has discussed, though not yet fully enacted, raising the income threshold at which that reduction kicks in. If that change moves forward, it would allow more working seniors to keep more of both their wages and their benefits simultaneously. That is a potential win worth watching. Hidden bonuses and credits. You may be leaving on the table. This is the part of the video where I always get the most messages afterward, because so many seniors simply do not know about the financial tools that are sitting right there, waiting to be used. Let me tell you about a few of them. The first is delayed retirement credits. For every year past your full retirement age, which is 67 for those born in 1960 or later, that you delay claiming Social Security, your benefit grows by 8%. If you delayed until 70, that means your benefit could be 24% higher than it would have been at 67. If your full retirement age benefit was $1,800, delaying to 70 means you are now receiving approximately $2,230 per month for life. That is not a one-time bonus. That is permanent, and it compounds with every COLA increase going forward. The second is the spousal benefit. If you are married and your spouse has a significantly higher earnings record than you may be entitled to up to 50% of their benefit at your full retirement age. If your own benefit would be $700 but 50% of your spouse's benefit is $100, you are eligible for the higher amount. And many people, especially women who spent time out of the workforce raising children, do not realize they are entitled to this. The third is the surviving spouse benefit, also called the widow or widower benefit. If your spouse has passed, you may be entitled to 100% of what they were receiving or would have received, if that amount is higher than your own. I have spoken with widows who are receiving $900 per month on their own record, who switched to their late husband's benefit of $2,100. That is a life-changing difference, and the SSA does not automatically switch you. You have to ask, what about offsets, clawbacks, and benefit reductions? My friends, I also promised you honesty, so let's talk about the less comfortable parts of this update, because not everything happening in April is a boost. There are also benefit offsets and clawbacks that are affecting some seniors right now, and you need to know if you could be one of them. The SSA has been issuing overpayment notices to beneficiaries, sometimes for overpayments going back years. In some cases, these notices are informing people that the SSA will begin withholding a portion of their monthly check until the debt is repaid. The default withholding rate was previously 100%, meaning the SSA could temporarily stop your entire check. After significant public outcry, a policy was put in place to generally cap withholding at 10% of your monthly benefit for most cases, though this can vary. If you have received an overpayment letter and you believe it is wrong, you have the right to appeal within 60 days, and you can also request a waiver if repayment would cause you financial hardship. Do not ignore those letters. Act on them. There is also the matter of Medicare Part B premiums, which are deducted directly from Social Security checks. In 2025, the standard Part B premium is $185 per month. For higher income beneficiaries, the income-related monthly adjustment amount, or IRMA, can add significantly more to that deduction. If your income in 2023 was above $106,000 for an individual or $212,000 for a couple, you are likely paying more than the standard premium. That directly reduces your net Social Security check, which is something many people do not fully account for when calculating what they will actually receive. VA benefits: what April brings for veterans. For our veterans watching this, I want to make sure you are not left out of this conversation, because VA benefits have also seen movement in 2025. The VA disability compensation rates were increased by that same 2.5% COLA adjustment that affected Social Security. For a veteran rated at 100% disability with no dependents, the monthly compensation is now approximately $3,737 per month. For veterans with dependents, the amount is higher. What many veterans do not realize is that VA disability compensation is entirely tax-free, every dollar. So a veteran receiving $3,737 from the VA and $1,200 from Social Security is receiving nearly $5,000 per month, and the VA portion is not counted as gross income for federal tax purposes. That is a significant financial advantage that, when properly understood, can completely change how a veteran manages their retirement budget. Also worth noting, if you are a veteran and you are not yet rated at the level you deserve, April is as good a time as any to revisit your VA claim. Rating decisions can be appealed, supplemental claims can be filed with new evidence, and the VA's PACT Act has opened the door for thousands of veterans to receive higher ratings for conditions related to toxic exposure. If you served and you are not getting your full VA benefit, please look into this. April payment dates, mark these on your calendar. Let's make sure you know exactly when to expect your money this month. Social Security pays on a schedule based on your birthday. If your birthday falls on the 1st through the 10th of any month, your April payment was sent on Wednesday, April 9th. If your birthday falls on the 11th through the 20th, your payment goes out on Wednesday, April 16th. And if your birthday falls on the 21st through the 31st, your payment is scheduled for Wednesday, April 23rd. If you began receiving Social Security before May 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your payment comes on the 3rd of the month, which in April was Thursday, April 3rd. SSI payments for May are typically issued at the end of April if May 1st falls on a weekend, so keep an eye on that as well. What you should do right now. My friends, here's where I want to leave you. And I want you to hear this clearly. The single most important thing you can do today, not next week, today, is log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. Look at your benefit verification letter. Look at your payment history. See if there are any notices or flags on your account. And if you think you may have been underpaid, if you think you qualify for a spousal benefit or a survivor benefit that you are not receiving, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 or visit your local SSA office in person. You worked for these benefits. You earned them. And in April 2025, with all of the changes, adjustments, and corrections moving through the system, there is real money on the table for people who are willing to ask the right questions. Do not leave yours behind. If this video helped you today, please share it with someone you love, a neighbor, a sibling, a friend from church. Because information is one of the greatest gifts we can give each other. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.